So the first question everyone asks, we know we can't put someone into jail. It's called Mesira. You're not allowed to report someone. That is not true.
When I was 17 years old, I went upstate on a trip for Shabbos with my best friend, Benny Keller. And we had a great time. And, we were enjoying ourselves, 16, 17 years old, until I woke up in the morning in the tent. And I turned over, and my best friend was laying there dead. A little over 2 years ago, someone called me up to say that Benny's father made a program in memory of him, and a kid came forward from there that he was using this program, and he used it to molest a kid. And I went through it, and I called up one person, and I called up another person, and another person. And lo and behold, a few of my friends were molested by him. And many of my friends were molested by many other people that they never told anybody. We realized how these cases would go in front of Rabbanim. They would go in front of the leaders of our community. And what would happen? The rabbi would say, I promise I won't do it again, and I'm going to go for therapy. Go for therapy for 2 years, and then boom, he's at the same thing. Moshe Keller was known about by the Basin of Crown Heights, by two other big rabbis in Crown Heights. 3 times it went in front of people. And he continued to molest people and molested my friends. JCW started and will always be to protect children. There will never be any other goal in mind. Besides protecting children, bringing justice to people that never had it before.
Try to imagine a guy sneaks into yeshivas, onto girls' schools, and he pours poison into the food. No one would ever say you shouldn't report him. You need 2 witnesses. How do you know it's true? We'll call the authorities, let them find who it is. I always say, if you take sex out of it, you just look at it straight in the face as a crime, it's much easier.
It's not an easy subject. I understand that, and I respect it. But it is collectively all of our responsibilities. It is about the village raising children and not being afraid and not being ashamed to say someone did something. If it means incarceration, if it means being registered, so be it. But constantly, so many cover-ups.
If you don't speak up, you're over alav in the Torah, samoid al dam re'acho. You know what samoid dam re'acho means? Samoid dam re'acho, you see your blood of your friend spill, and you do nothing. But if you know something is going wrong, something like a molester is molesting you don't speak up, you're over alav in the Torah. Which this lav is mamish, the Rambam learns it shvichas domim. You have to report. You can't be quiet. Let me tell you what the Gemara says. Gedalia got a message. There was a Gedalia, this was the beginning of Bayis Sheni, end of Bayis Rishon, toward almost the building of Bayis Sheni. Gedalia got a message that Yishmael is coming and he wants to kill the community. She said, Lashon Hara! I can't listen to Lashon Hara. Yishmael is coming, he's going to kill someone. It's nothing. Since he didn't take action and Yishmael did come and kill, the pasuk says the murderer was Gedalia. If you don't speak up, if you know someone is a molester, you are called a molester.
Many of us feel, professionals and paraprofessionals, that this can be cured. It's an addiction. It's not something that can be cured. It's something that, if an individual wants to get into recovery, they can get into recovery.
The California legislature specifically found that sex offenders pose a high risk of committing further sex offenses, and for the protection of the public, it is a paramount public interest to enact registration laws.
The fear of being registered for the rest of their lives, that frightens them.
These people have to be scared. They have to know that the community will support JCW and say, you know what, if you touch a child, we're not going to allow you in our show. We're going to send you flying. We're going to kick you out of our community. You have to be there for the victims. If you want people to go forward to the police, which many people can get arrested right now, that are perpetrators in our community getting away scot-free. You have to support victims. You have to encourage them to go to the police. They must get locked up. There is no ifs and ands.
We have to have a culture in the situations where there is, God forbid, a victim, that we encourage that person in every way and provide them support in every way, that they shouldn't be seen as an outcast and they should be seen as a person that had a terrible tragedy happen to them, and we'll give that person full support. There may be a case of a 15-year-old, of a 10-year-old, of an 8-year-old who was molested that got rejected because there wasn't any corroborating evidence. And a 40-year-old guy coming forward and saying, hey, I was molested by the same guy, would be that corroborating evidence. And so therefore, I always encourage people, no matter if you are past statute of limitations, to go forward, go tell the police your story, because you can literally save a life.
Victims now have a place to turn to, a place where they will be believed, a place that we will stand by their side. And I look at as every single victim out there, boy or girl, as my brother, and I will do everything to protect them. And same too, the whole team behind JCW will be there to support them.
I'll be telling you, the only time you could arrest someone, you need 2 witnesses. No one comes and robs a bank and there's 2 witnesses telling, don't rob. There's a warning. No murderer ever murders in front of people. It's only the gangs. Most murders happen, no one's around, and he did it in this way, no robber, people turn it on. The Rashba says there would never be law in order if we would follow the strict rules of the Torah. There's 2 dinim. There's a din in Sanhedrin. There's a din, not in Sanhedrin. There's a din that for law and order. A law and order has to be other ways. Now imagine if a molester cannot be arrested, I mean, you don't have 2 witnesses, it'd be just unbelievable.
The interviews I've done with pedophiles, it frightens me. They are able to tell me that they can stand in a schoolyard or outside a schoolyard and they can tell you which children they know they can get.
Wake up. Just understand what's going on. Understand how bad it is. There are children crying. They want to be heard. And instead it's falling on deaf ears because everybody knows this person and knows that person. All of a sudden it can't be true.
I've seen cases with unbelievable amounts of evidence against an individual. And there's entire families, groups and groups of people sitting there in support of the predator.
With every person exposed, we've gained another 5 to 50 people that will hate us. They will find every way to discredit us, but that will not stop us because we will continue on our mission.
We have a wide variety of organizations in our community that do amazing work in their own way and do many different sorts of work. We have an organization, a very large organization in our community that assists criminals, that visits them in jail. That is important work, but they raise millions and millions of dollars. We don't have an organization that assists children, that has funding. We don't have organizations that assist families who suffered as a result of sexual abuse. We don't have many organizations in that respect. Somehow those things got left by the wayside, and somehow they're not as important as going to visit a criminal in jail, a person who did an action that harmed society, and now we're saying we're going to give that person money to further help that person. The people we should be helping, the people who haven't harmed society, and the people who are most vulnerable in our community, which is our children.
The importance of warning the community. Well, it takes a village to raise a child. We are the village. Whether we're individuals, whether we're professionals, we're paraprofessionals, it's on us to help educate our children to the best of our ability.
It says, if I'm correct, in the Sechta Saita, that in the times before Mashiach comes, the youth will put the old to shame. Now is that time. When Moshe Rabbeinu froze in the sight of immorality, Pinchas, who was 2 generations younger than Moshe, stepped up and did what was right. Each and every one of us in this room have to be that Pinchas. Our leaders have frozen. They are literally frozen. They are not doing anything to fight this epidemic of child sexual abuse in our community. And each one of us has to get involved in one way or the other to help put an end to this. Become a public supporter of JCW. Help out funds with victims. Support the site. If you're a therapist, we have victims that need help that don't have money. Any way that you can help out, we want your help. We want you part of JCW.
It's hard to believe. You could look at a guy like Meyer and say, You know, how do I know? Why should I believe you? You're right, it's difficult. But why should I not believe him? Why would someone make this up? What am I gaining from it? This is not a witch hunt. This is not burning someone at the stake. This is about attempting to keep our children safe.
I got 3 people call me. One I know who he is, the other 2 I have no idea who they were. Telling me, do you know that this organization, do you know who runs the organization? So I don't care who runs the organization. What do I care? I says, do you have a better organization? Is your organization better? And I says, you have a better organization?
I'm going to end off with, there was a father, another friend of mine's father, who was against JCW. You'd always talk bad, this, that, da, da, da. Until his son came to him and told him how he was molested and how he came to us for help, and we helped him out and was a shoulder of support for him. Now he's one of the biggest supporters publicly of us. Why am I telling you this? Because you should not wait until your child or someone very close to you gets molested for you to believe this is the right thing and this is the right cause. Look at every single Jewish child that is being molested as your son, your daughter, your brother, and your sister, and take it personal. And that is the only way we will make a difference. And this is the only way we can fight this. Just think about it. A child that was molested is your son, and what you would do to stand up for that child, that's how every Jewish child should be. With that, thank you everybody for coming. May we only hear good news.